Hi, I am Terrance Roberson, a graduating MBA candidate from Orlando, Florida. I will be discussing with you today the dark side of workplace sexual harassment. Did you know that over 81% of women and 43% of men in the United States have been victims of sexual harassment? There were over 113,000 sexual harassment cases filed since 2010. These are cases in which charges were filed by the EEOC. Sexual harassment is a recurring problem across the nation. According to the EEOC, it has taken measures to deal with the recurring problem in 2017, implementing an innovative training program named Respectful Workplaces. In fiscal year 2018, the EEOC filed 66 lawsuits, 41 of which alleged sexual harassment. These represent over 50% of an increase in lawsuits challenging sexual harassment. Sexual harassment claims are up over 12% for sexual harassment since 2017. An astonishing 113,000 sexual harassment cases were charged and filed from 2010 to 2018, with 35% saying that they were false or absolutely fabricated. The EEOC recovered nearly $70 million for victims of sexual harassment through litigation and administration enforcement. In fiscal year 2018, up $47.5 million from 2017. That's big money. Take a moment to think, what company or industry has that sort of money? Just to give it away. Big business, celebrities, politicians, and CEOs. 252 celebrities, politicians, and CEOs, and others have been accused of sexual misconduct. Since the Harvey Weinstein scandal in 2017, victims of all ages and genders have been sharing their stories of traumatic experiences, sexual harassment, and assault on social media. With the huge footprint the hashtag #MeToo movement has made, these predators are being pointed out. Consequently, we've seen careers and personal lives torn apart by allegations of harassment and violence. We aren't just reading about that. Think about what you're not reading about. Those that are falsely accused. Example, MTV's Catfish star Neve. He was accused in 2018 of sexual assault. Later that month, MTV canceled his show, but they did do an investigation and found that there was no credibility to the claims, so they immediately reinstated his show. Many networks make their money based on ratings and shows aired. Stars and hosts like Neve are paid based on showings. False accusations ruin careers, affect celebrities' earnings, big business, bottom line. In addition to that, it's counterproductive to any business. Listen, sexual harassment can hit news feeds and it can blow up someone's life. Not just those in the entertainment industry, but other professionals and athletes. One case that comes to mind is the Atlanta Falcons linebacker, Brian Banks. He was accused of rape and sexual misconduct, and he spent 5 years in prison. And then he was released when his accuser admitted that she fabricated the allegations against Banks. Banks lost his job, future career opportunities, and the trust of the public. Being falsely accused of sexual harassment or misconduct is equivalent to being publicly accused of a crime that you didn't commit. The burden of clearing one's name is definitely on the accused. But once information is out there, it's a horrible predicament to be in. Often personal opinions are formed about the accused, and gossip spreads around the office. There are a number of reasons someone would want to make a false accusation about a coworker or a supervisor. Examples are fear of termination or discipline for poor performance or other violations, jealousy jealousy of the person, disgust or anger, financial gain, protection, and the list goes on. Recently, I was on a panel to review a sexual harassment claim involving a female accuser that reported a male supervisor whom she accused of sexual harassment and misconduct. The complaint said that the male supervisor poked her belly button, the midsection, from time to time, and called her names such as cutie, sweetie, gorgeous. These claims indicated that there were examples of playful moments that she was uncomfortable with, that other staff members felt they were sexually harassed by the accused supervisor, which prompted an interview of the entire team. Upon review and investigation into the information, it seemed that stories that were told to the investigating team seemed to have been borrowed experiences from one person or the other. and they were not truly her own, but she did believe it. A private investigator provided an additional layer of information that made the case even more interesting. The accuser and the accused were connected personally, but the accused was unaware of the mutual relationship. The accused had a sexual relationship with the accuser's best friend, which he didn't maintain and ended abruptly. But when confronted with the information from the private investigation, the accuser confirmed that she actually lied, and she was actually attempting to retaliate on the supervisor just to get him back for the way he treated her friend. The accuser immediately tendered a resignation, listing the reasons for a hostile work environment, because she wanted the employee to be suspended during the investigation. She listed that this situation was handled the wrong way. In the event that the employer had separated from the employee before they finalized the investigation, he could have responded with a wrongful termination suit, which would have resulted in his favor. The accused supervisor is dealing with emotional trauma and this whole ordeal, which is likely more damaging than actually losing your job or even being guilty of the misconduct you're being accused of. Sexual harassment can cause real problems in the workplace. Sexual harassment comes in so many forms, not only quid pro quo, but in the form of unwanted contact, such as touching, harassing phone calls and messages, and suggestive behavior. All reports of sexual harassment and misconduct must be investigated, no matter what industry, whether it's media, entertainment, education, business, or any other industry. Companies have the choice to use private investigators, internal teams, or even one-on-one investigations. They'll be handled case by case. What if the accused isn't guilty? False accusations happen, and they often lead to many different perspectives and vantage points about the facts. False claims not only are costly to the organization, but they are counterproductive and have serious consequences for the wrongly accused. I know what you're thinking. So what's the solution? Companies like Vox Media have required 950 of their employees to take an online anti-harassment training program that's offered by Everify, the company in Washington, D.C., who offers online technology. Listen, training is the best practice. It can be documented and tracked. For documentation purposes, it will hold up in court, but it also reinforces the stance that there are rules here. Companies should back up this training by following through with thorough investigations and terminations if necessary for any proven claim of sexual misconduct or fabrications. I'd like to remind you that over 25% of the sexual harassment claims are false and completely fabricated. Fabricated claims of sexual harassment can destroy careers, demolish bottom lines, and create distrust and fear in organizations. Clear policies should be in place for both the harasser and the victims of both sides. I want to thank you for taking the time to listen to this TED Talk about the dark side of sexual harassment and what happens when we don't investigate. Again, I am Terrance Roberson. Thank you very much.